My name is Scott Fisk, and in this tutorial we're going to talk briefly about how to use the WoW slider, the free version of the WoW slider, to create a jQuery slider for a web page. So let's get started. Here's the program. I've just downloaded the free version. There is a paid version of the software too, which is a little bit better because it doesn't have the logo on it when you publish it. What I'm going to do first off is I have 3 images that are prepared and ready to be pulled over into this that I'm going to use for an example. So I'm just going to drag these 3 images into this area. It drops them in, and at this point we have some different options. We can reorder them. We can hit the plus or minus to add or remove the images. And this screen, the most important thing on this screen, in my opinion, is you can make them links down here. So for each of these images, we could have it linked to something. And then we also have this option to select different screen res. And mine's set to 960 by 360, which is a good size because most web pages today are set for that width. So if you wanted it to be as wide as it could possibly be, 960 would be great. The next thing I'm going to do is click on this button right here. This is a very important button. It's called Properties. And in this Properties area, you have lots and lots of settings. And I'm just going to talk about the important ones. We have some settings here that will autoplay because you could have the thing not work, or pause on mouse over. This is an important little section. We can create the whole thing to be full screen or full width or in a box. And I'm going to leave it on the default, which is box. We can set it up for parallaxing if we wanted to, which is really popular today. We have bullet navigation on the bottom, which can be turned off. We can turn on and off the thumbnail. Here's the thumbnail size. Next, I'm going to click on Design. And this is another really important area because we can choose the way that this looks and works. So the title that you put in on the other page in this area shows up right here. The title of each image shows up in the lower left-hand corner on most of these. So whatever kind of buttons you like for the left, right arrows, that's really what I'm looking for when I'm choosing one of these. So this is a simple one. I'm going to go with that. Again, make sure that the size is set up correctly. We have a font option. The transition effect in the newest version of this software defaults to something that's a little bit less than professional. Some of the more simpler ones are really the more popular ones, which would be like Blur, for example, and good old Basic, which simply does a normal scroll, from right to left. We have duration settings right here, so if you want it to be a little slower, you could say 4 seconds instead of the default 2 seconds, and the effect to duration defaults 2 and 2. At this point, I'm going to click Publish, and I've already set this up. I clicked Browse, and I'm going to just make sure that I have a folder set up on my desktop. My folder is called Test. I'm going to hit Open because it buries it down in the Documents folder. It's better to select a specific location that's easy for you to find here. The default page name's fine, and I'm going to hit Apply. And at this point, we're going to go up to Slider. It would be a good time right now to save the project so you can work on it again later if you need to. And then what we're going to do is just publish this thing. So click Publish, and it's published. And it's going to pull up a preview of this thing. And this is actually really helpful. This is something that they didn't have before in the older version. But it shows you, the preview was here in the older version, but it makes it a lot easier to add because they have directions in this. So right here we have code that needs to go in the header of your web page, which is the top unseen portion of your web page. Then we have this code that is supposed to go in the body. So I'm going to open up Dreamweaver, File New. I've been working on fluid grid layouts, which are responsive lately, so I'm going to go ahead and use that for this demonstration. Hit Create. Of course, you don't have to use Dreamweaver for this. You could use any web page editor, really. I need access to the code. And what I'm going to do is just remove out the text that's in this div. And this is going to be the body area where that body information goes. And everything up here is the header. So let's head back over. This is the header information that goes in the top. So here's my header. What I'm looking for is my existing style sheet file, which is right there. I'm just going to drop that text in right underneath the title. And then here's my body information, which really needs to go wherever you want it to be placed on the page. So in theory, you'd already have the page designed, and you just drop this into the box where you want it to go. So I'm copying that, going back over to this page. This is that div right here that's going to hold it. I'm going to paste that in. And the reason it looks like it's not working is this page has not been saved yet. This page needs to be saved into the exact same spot where all those other files are at, which is called my test folder on my desktop. So I'm going to do File, Save All. And this is where you need to go in and make absolutely sure that everything is in the same spot. So I have this test folder, it's right here. We'll just name this test, and it should save everything into that spot. And we're going to test it. And lo and behold, it works. And the great thing about this is responsive. So notice how it's growing and shrinking. That's because Dreamweaver has that responsive grid built in, that sort of responsive grid starting boilerplate built into it now, which is really handy. So that's awesome. It works great. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. See you next time.